you feeling? Welcome back to this little space, this little time of nervous system regulation with your friend Jade Beal. This is the You Are Too Sensitive podcast because I happen to be a pretty sensitive person, and well, I've been told my whole life you're too sensitive, you're too fat, you're too many things, which is correct. But I used to feel bad about that, and now I hold my hands to my heart and I take a deep breath and I say, I love that I'm all those things. I am too sensitive. I am too much. For most of the world. And if people want to say that, let them. Let them. I used to allow others to dictate how I was going to feel. I don't anymore. That's so freeing. It's easier said than done. But the truth is, my love, one day we will take our last exhale, and I promise you we will not give a damn that we were called so many names during our time in Earth School. We will, however, remember how the sunshine felt on our skin and how a hug felt and how relationships felt, the people that impacted us and that we impacted, or at least that's how I like to think about it. Before I get too far in, I would like to ask a favor. There are about 50 of you beautiful ones that listen weekly, and I am so grateful for each and every one of you. And on Apple Podcasts, I only have 3 reviews. That's fine. I'm so grateful for each one of those 3 reviews. But I want to ask you, precious listener, would you give me a gift and go over to Apple Podcasts? I know I have to open up Apple Podcasts and it's a whole thing. And so I know it takes an effort, but it would really mean a lot to me. I don't know. I can see who listens, meaning how many people listen to this podcast, but I don't know who you are. I know about 10 of who you are. So even if 7 of y'all left me a review on Apple Podcasts, and I'd have 10, and that would be such a wonderful gift. So could you do it for me, y'all? I would be a lot. I do this podcast because, well, I've sort of let social media go, and that's where I used to connect. I still jump on there. I like to see what people I love are up to, but other than that, I don't want to be on there too much, at least in this season of my life. And so I'm choosing to share here, and I don't know how long this will last, but well, here I am today. I can't promise I'll be here next week, but I'm here today. I'm so excited for the future, and I do like sharing story, but it would mean a lot to me if you'd go over and leave a review. That would definitely fuel my fire to continue. Today I want to talk about the difference, what I find a key difference in this idea where we have to fix ourselves, which is a very Western idea of approaching health, the body, the soul, this idea that it needs fixing. And don't get me wrong, sometimes we do need fixing. I just needed this hernia fixed. In that regard, I think Western medicine is so fantastic, and I am eternally grateful for that wisdom. But a lot of things of the human condition, a lot of things in Earth School don't need fixing. And this idea that us little teeny humans can do this fixing rather than melting into the mysterious wonder that is being human is so interesting to me and makes sense in our current culture. Not all cultures are like that, but definitely the Western world, and well, pretty much everywhere I've traveled, to be honest, which is Mexico, Central America, South America, West Africa, Europe. So the idea that instead of fixing this taking of Earth School as just that, school. Not in the sense that we have to study hard and ace exams, but that we are constantly learning. Because there's no way to know, y'all. Science is so fantastic, and it cannot explain why we are here. What is going on? Science is just starting to understand the incredible consciousness that we're all connected to, like the mycelium of the trees. It's beautiful. And there's so much mystery. And I feel like a lot of us live so dysregulated in a state of constant fight or flight just to meet the basic needs of survival, to have a job, to go to school, to push, when maybe more of our true nature is kind of slow, or at least it is for me. For me to maintain the hustle of what is quote, quote, successful in this model of the United States of America, there's a cost, which is anxiety, dysregulation, the dying of my soul, to be honest. And so, of course, in that anxious state, leaning into the unknown is going to seem impossible. Or at least it has for me. So, nervous system regulation isn't just this trendy term that to help us, quote unquote, feel better. It is a spiritual practice to give us the ability to lean in to the mystery of life. To grow up in the Western world means that we have learned, we inherited this idea that only things that can be seen are real, and that everything needs a scientific explanation. And while I think eventually there can be scientific explanations for the mystery, maybe in hundreds of years or something, I don't need scientific explanation personally to lean into the mystery of the unknown. However, most of us in this Western inheritance that we were all born into, if you're listening, I'm pretty sure all of us live in the Western model. We think we have to explain everything, which is very in our precious little brain, right? We need to understand why we feel anxious. We need to understand why we're feeling pain. We gotta find the reason. And most of us that need to find that are already living in a state of chronic fight, flight, or freeze. And then we need these explanations, which is all in our precious little brain. Whereas the wisdom of the body says, come down out of your precious head. This is why meditation is so powerful. It's not going to cure the condition of being human. Being human is intense. But meditation asks us, invites us into our body. Baby girl, meditation says, it's safe to not know. I know you want to know, precious one. But I want you to practice leaning into the medicine of the unknowable. It's actually not scary. It feels scary when we think everything needs an explanation and everything is physical. It can be scary at first. To lean into the spirit world can feel scary because we're told pretty much only horror stories about ghosts and such. But the spirit world is also divine and wants the best for us. So with that in mind, I wanted to share another poem. If you've listened for the last few weeks, you know I'm really into this book called The Journal of the Soul, a book of poetry by Sophia Katsaiti. This one is called Stay Open. To shield yourself from hurt is to turn from life. I want to read that again. To shield yourself from hurt is to turn from life. You cannot numb pain without dimming wonder. You cannot hide from the unknown without silencing curiosity. To stay open is to consent to heartbreak, but the alternative would be a life half lived, a world washed in gray, where nothing moves you because nothing reaches you. Yes, we lose. People depart, others arrive. Some love only to the depth that they can bear to love themselves. But close yourself to avoid loss, and you will lose yourself. You will cut the cord to the very current that carries growth and joy to shore. To love is to let life pierce right through you and still offer tenderness back. Let grief carve its place in you, for this becomes the resting place of beauty and wonder. What proves you alive are not the hours of certainty, but the moments that rearranged your heart so it could behold the world as it truly is. Heartbreak is not love's opposite. It is love's echo. It is evidence that you let life into you. So, stay open, my love. That is how life finds you. Journey of the soul. Brené Brown says that joy is the most vulnerable of emotions, because to fully allow ourselves to feel joy, we have to be open to suffering. To be afraid that our joy is going to be taken is to essentially reject joy, which a lot of us do, not intentionally, self-sabotaging and not feeling on an unconscious level that we're worth it, old childhood wounds that we still get to hold and help heal, not fix, help heal. Because to fully lean into joy means we possibly, most likely, will feel deep pain at one point or another. But here's the thing, even if we didn't allow joy in, we're still gonna feel pain. So to love is actually very brave. And yeah, there might be a quote-unquote cost, or is it even a cost? Is that just the beauty of Earth School? I happen to feel like when I'm taking my last exhale, as you all know, I'm not afraid of death. I see death as going home. There is no fear for me. And this human experience is unique. It brings tears to my eyes. Even the pain. Because in that place I remember before I was born, there is no pain. It's so glorious. But pain is something special too. What we have the opportunity to do as humans, in my opinion, this is still my practice that I have not mastered, is to lean into pain. Lean into pain. The Western model tells us to fix pain, to eliminate pain, to resist it. Definitely resist. And of course we want to resist pain. Pain hurts. Of course we want to resist it. But the opportunity, the Earth School, this spiritual practice, what if you asked your pain, hey, what do you have to say? If you leaned into your pain, what color is it? What temperature is it? Where exactly is your pain if you could pinpoint it? Is it muscle? Is it tendon? Is it bone? Is it skin? Is it your blood? What is it exactly? Leaning into that pain. What would happen if we weren't afraid of our pain? That's a question I like to ask myself a lot. It's one of the ways I was able to cure, and I still get headaches from time to time, but I used to get regular headaches. I never went anywhere without Advil in my purse, nowhere, because headaches were just what happened. Why? Well, I'm a sensitive human doing her best, and at that time I had no idea that I was repressing so much, and I thought that truly there was something wrong with me with those headaches. But once I started doing breath work and shadow work and really embracing who I am, which is not is not who I thought I wanted to be. Who I thought I wanted to be was a successful go-getter photographer, and that was a valid want. But who I am is a much slower. I need a lot of quiet and a lot of peace, and to maintain that hustle, well, it has a cost on my precious little body. And so once I started doing, and that doesn't mean that I can't hustle. I just want to be clear too. I have the energy in me and the badassery within me to hustle. I also understand the toll it might take. It might take a day of recovery time after, maybe not. To be honest, I feel like if I were able to do my mind-body work better, it wouldn't take such a huge toll on me. But at this season of my life, it does. To hustle takes a toll. That's okay. I accept that for now. I don't see that as forever. Nothing is forever. The only constant in this wild, mysterious thing of Earth School as a human is change. So when it came to my headaches, I did start asking me, what does this pain have to say? And I started doing breath work, and my headaches would get worse. It felt like my head was going to explode when I first started doing this vigorous style of breath work. And I didn't know what was happening, but I surrendered because I just felt like I had no other option but to surrender. And so I'd do this breath work, and my headache would get worse and worse and worse, and it felt like my head was going to explode, and I'd cry, and I'd keep going. I'm like, tell me more, tell me more. I wanted my headache to yes, and it was I felt like it was going to pop through my eyeballs, and I breathed, and it hurt worse and worse, and most old me, with that as it gets getting worse, would have stopped because I did not know how to lean into pain. And to be honest, I didn't even know I was leaning into pain when I just started doing this. I just knew that I needed to go somewhere I hadn't been before. And so doing that breath work and feeling my head like it was going to explode, and then stopping my breath work, and then feeling my head pulse and just leaning in. What is that sensation? What is that sensation? And before I knew it, it was only a month or so, my headache stopped. I might have had one migraine in the last 5 years, maybe. I'm not sure. I've had several headaches, and sometimes I do take Advil because I don't have time for breath work. And I got a client come in, and I'm grateful for that medicine. That helps me alleviate that pain quick. But I don't use it as a crutch anymore. I don't need that medicine. Now, if you take medication for headaches and migraines, please do not hear this as anything except an option. Whatever we choose to do with our pain is our right and our business, and nobody else's. I am sharing this because I am so passionate about these bodies. I am so passionate about leaning into pain in a culture that is always telling us to resist or fix pain. I want to lean in to this. What is this trying to tell me? What is off? We all know that tension headaches exist. Tension headaches. We know that they come from tension. From what? A hard day. Not a physical brain tumor. It's not like we go immediately I must have a brain tumor. Maybe some do. But I think most people know that those headaches are from tension from a gnarly day. Meaning an emotion, a physical feeling in our body to an emotional event of a stress, this emotion, day. We know that. And yet, we still think when we feel physical pain in our bodies that usually it has to have a physical starting point. If we have a migraine, then we can start saying, oh, what's wrong? Maybe it's not tension headache. There's something more wrong with me. Maybe it's a brain tumor. And yes, the beauty is we can go, if we're so lucky with our health insurance and such, we can go check it out and make sure we don't have a brain tumor. But once we realize we don't have a brain tumor, it's like, okay, this is just mind-body medicine that I get to work on. This is pain speaking to me. And the thing is that this mind-body connection, pain can show up as a frozen shoulder. You can't even move your shoulder or hip or knee or foot. I had plantar fasciitis. It hurt to walk for about a year for me. Every time I would get up out of bed, searing pain. I'd limp. It was like I couldn't even get to the bathroom. But I wasn't afraid of it. I knew I wasn't able to obviously work through it quickly because I had it for like a year. But it would come and go. But it was pretty much around for about a year. So physical pain, that feels like it needs quote unquote fixing, because that is the model that we live in, is to fix something, especially if we feel it physically. And again, let me be a broken record. Some things like my hernia, like a brain tumor, some things, thank goodness, thank you, Western medicine does need fixing. And a lot of really intense, debilitating, even potentially deadly pain stems from not a physical source. Not a physical problem. There's no brain tumor. There's actually nothing wrong with your body. There's nothing to fix. But there is a lot of curiosity to lean into. Instead of pushing and resisting, there's that saying, what we resist persists. How can we soften into it, even though, like, shit, who the fuck signed up to come to Earth School and lean into pain? Well, we did, my loves. We did. And while sometimes, yes, we got to take the damn Advil or get the cortisol shot or whatever to alleviate so we can function in this go hustle, have to work hard just to survive, pay our bills, there's an opportunity for deeper exploration. I'm going to give you an example of my current, what I've been working on for many years. I still haven't been able to fully reach a healing place with it, but I've talked about it many times already here, is my food addiction. Okay. Now, I could take GLP-1s, those very famous, everyone's taking them, seems, which is fine. That's not a judgment statement. But here's the thing. If I were to take a high dose of those, and there was like a period of 6 months, I tried microdosing GLP-1s because I wanted to see how it felt in my body, because I had heard some people say it helped with food addiction, but I quickly learned it doesn't. It doesn't. Because why? That's an inside job. My food addiction is not a problem with food. My food addiction is deep work. Might even be ancestral, might be like, obviously it's taken me a long time to, I mean, I've come light years from where I was 10 years ago. And I still got more to do. But the thing is, I'm in no hurry. I don't need to be thin. I'm still learning. But the GLP-1 did not work. I mean, I only did it for like 6 months with a microdose, like a teeny little dose. And I did at first, it felt like, not thinking about food was actually really gorgeous for like the first month, I think. That was like, it was relaxing because my brain, she is just, oh my gosh, she just wants to think about food all the time. But not because she's broken, not because there's something to fix, but because I have learned since childhood, and probably I inherited as well, a way to feel better in this gnarly earth school. A way to cope is to eat. a way to, I can viscerally remember, and I still do it. Sometimes when I'm not feeling well, I start visualizing a meal I'm going to prepare, and it makes me feel better. How precious. How precious. My point is, the GLP-1 is not going to fix that shadow healing that I get to do with patience, love, and kindness. Some people do it faster. I'm a slow learner. But I am getting closer. Because I tell you, like just yesterday was such a great example. I had a big day of massage yesterday. It was Saturday. Oh my gosh, y'all, I've been working hard since I came back to work after my hernia surgery. I've had so many photo shoots, so many massage clients, so grateful. The only day off I had was Thanksgiving last week. So grateful, so grateful for this amount of work. And yeah, your girl's tired. Today I have a day off. It's Sunday. Ugh, I love a day off. Okay, point is, yesterday I had 2 massage clients back to back, which I don't usually have back to back like that. And so I had a lovely breakfast, and usually I tend to like eat later in the day. I'm always trying to figure out, like, sometimes I like to just not eat breakfast. But when I have a big day like yesterday, eating a protein-packed breakfast is so loving. So I ate this protein-packed breakfast. So good. It was a machaca and egg burrito. Do y'all know that? I grew up eating machaca tacos, and machaca is this breakfast meat. And so tons of machaca and eggs and salsa in this delicious tortilla, all warm. I got it right across the street at this little Mexican restaurant by my place. My point is, so I ate this burrito, I start working, and I'm working nonstop for about 5 hours. Not once did I think about food. And I'll tell you, like, that is so, it just feels so relaxing. So that is proof. I'm like, good job, honey. Good job. Look, we have evidence that we can go long stretches of time without thinking about food. I'm being present with my clients. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I'm so grateful for my clients. I'm so grateful for the delicious jojoba oil that I'm putting all over my clients. Like, I am just fully immersed. I love the playlist I have curated for this session. Fully present, fully grateful. And afterwards, I wasn't hungry either. Not thinking about food. And then my husband came over and we had a lovely dinner. He brought steaks and green beans and asparagus, and we took it out to the grill. There's a common grill area here at my townhouses, and we put that food on the grill, and then we sat in the hot tub while it grilled. This is one of our favorite things to do. And I just have the most gorgeous hot tub here. It's just very pleased with my townhouse situation. And our food grilled, and it smelled so good, and we came back and we had a beautiful dinner by candlelight. And it's just, my point is, I would love for GLP-1s to fix this obsessive thinking about food that I've had since I can remember, since I was little. I have used food to feel good because life is so intense for me. And this brings tears to my eyes because it's like, I think of baby girl Jade and the way she learned how to cope was to eat. One of the ways. And I'm still working through that today, but I'm so grateful for her. I'm so grateful she learned how to find joy when there was a lot going on. The scary apartments my dad lived in, the fighting between my mom and my dad, sexually abused by someone who also was so important in my family. Like, so many opportunities for not feeling well. And baby girl, what she did was she leaned on food because she'd think of something she was going to eat. She got happy. So, healing. Yeah, wouldn't it be nice to take a pill and just be done with it? I don't know, I'm right with you. I would love to take those injections and them just to wipe out the decades and decades of coping mechanism around food that I have developed. But it's not like that, my loves. Now, medication can be a good crutch. Like for me, I used antidepressants and also a mood stabilizer for many years because I needed that crutch. I needed it. I was I was so up and down all the time. And I'm so grateful I had access to those antidepressants and the mood stabilizer and the high blood pressure medication that I used to take. I'm so grateful. And even if I stayed on that forever, that would be fine too. But the thing is, I knew there was work to be done. And once I felt like I had a little bit of spaciousness to start tending to that, I weaned myself off of those medications very, 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 very slowly. There's nothing to fix, my loves. Sometimes we need a crutch. Or sometimes maybe we need the crutch our whole lives, and there's no shame in that. And sometimes when we take the crutch away, it's gonna be painful. But it's not the end. Pain is a teacher. And I say this as a student. I'm no master in leaning into my pain. I am no master. I am right alongside with you as a student. And sometimes I need to just take the damn pill and not engage with the pain. But ultimately I know it'll just be waiting for me until I'm ready. But also, if I keep pushing it away, it's going to stack up. It's going to fill up like a cup of water. Slow, and then it's going to start overflowing. And if it starts overflowing, my pain is going to amplify. And I'll probably have headaches. I'll probably have an urgent bladder, or I can't even contain, or I can't hold my bladder, which is one of my mind-body things that I've healed through mind-body work, is urgent bladder. I can guarantee that I'm not going to feel well if I keep resisting the pain. But sometimes I'm like, God, I don't have the energy to freaking... But that's one of the reasons I have simplified my life so much. Because for me to lean into pain, I require a lot of space. So, why am I sharing this? Because I just want to constantly remind us that in this world that we live in as Americans, or wherever you are listening to this, which is probably a more Western culture, Western way of doing things, we must remember, and I don't say things often like with this amount of like, got it, like let's go. These bodies are not projects to fix. They are vessels to experience this trippy ass, painful, beautiful life as a human. Which means a lot of times we gotta do things we don't really want to do because there's medicine in there. Nothing to fix, but endless opportunities to heal. And when I say heal, what I also mean in that word is learn. Because we're in our school. Continue learning. I know we all want to be like done. Like, okay, I've gotten this far. I've healed this. And then there's something else. Because that's how it is here. It's just a constant expansion. That's what the universe does. She keeps expanding, and we are her children. We too are constantly expanding. But we get to pause the button. We can press pause, but there might be consequences, meaning pain. So how can we continue to lean into the mystery that is this human experience, cultivate a spiritual practice to help us through this, which for me keeps evolving. Lately, it really involves listening and trusting my light guides and my loved ones on the other side, like my dad. That's not my only spiritual practice, but that has been my most recent addition that I'm just so into. How can we lean into our spiritual practices alongside our understanding of science and everything that we see? It's not one or the other. It's an integration of all sacred wisdom. And how can we see our bodies as less of a project to fix and more of a vessel to experience and heal and experience and expand? I know I say this a lot, but I'm going to say it again. What thrives in shame? Being angry at your body for being in pain? Is that a loving energy or is that a shameful angry? No, let me say, it's valid to be effing upset. When we're sick, when we get a cancer diagnosis, when we're in pain. Yes, let's get angry. Let's scream out in nature or into a pillow. Let's journal about how fucking unfair it is that we are in so much pain. And can we do that and then breathe and reset and see our body as a precious living vessel that, like any living creature, doesn't do well to be yelled at? What creature do you know thrives when being yelled at and scolded? Do you know of any? I don't. The inner critic is trying to keep us safe. She's valid. But at the end of the day, we need to, yes, hug her, but increase our inner knowing, increase the voice of our higher self. Not because we can live there. At least for me, I've never experienced living consistently in my higher self. But she's there and I know she's there. And she gives me a lot of proof that I can turn to during my really intense anxiety attacks, during my depressive times. She gives me a lot of evidence that I know how to get through it. Because I've gotten through it so many times. My inner critic, my ego, wants to keep me safe. I don't reject them. Just like anything, I don't resist. I don't resist the inner critic. I don't resist my ego. They're all welcome here. But who is gonna drive this car? Well, sometimes the ego does take hold. Sometimes inner critic, cute little Stacy, sometimes she takes hold. And then I have to say, okay, kids, I'm sorry. I was kind of like, not really with it. Thank you. Please get in the back seat. Love you so much. I'm driving this car. And by I mean my highest self. The one who understands that life is way more nuanced and complex than always feeling good. Or at least for me. Surrendering that life is very complex and all parts of me are valid. However, the one that I want to nourish, to feed over and over and over again is that loving voice, the compassionate voice. And maybe it's not even a part of my highest self. I don't know. It must learn from my highest self, though, that inner compassionate voice that I have, that when I look in the mirror and my inner critic is like, oh my God, you're so fat. Ugh, like, gross. My inner critic voice, valid. And then my self-compassionate voice immediately comes online and says, it's okay you think that. It's okay. I know for you it's scary to look this way. It's okay. Given the way you were raised and everything you are told, it makes sense you feel that way. It's safe to look however we damn look. It's safe to not like it. My high self, she loves this body no matter what, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm not going to resist like, oh, I shouldn't think that. No, so far, I haven't found a way. I mean, that voice is a lot. What I was going to say is I haven't found a way to completely silence that voice, but that it's, used to be at a volume 100. Now it's at a volume like 20 most of the time. Well, I mean, a lot of times it's at 0, to be honest. But then it comes up to about 20. But I don't expect it to live at 0. But maybe one day I'll realize it's been years and it has been at 0. Maybe. I don't know. But I don't expect it to go away. I'm not resisting her. She's welcome here, but she don't run the show. Sometimes she grabs a hold of the steering wheel, like I said, but not for long. not for long. And nor, so all of that to say, where can you continue to nourish that inner kindness? And when you hear that inner critic or whatever voice it may be that wants to berate you and tell you how horrible you are and wants to tell you what's wrong with my body, this body, I hate this body, like that's the inner toddler, like let her have her tantrum. I find my inner toddler has the best tantrums laying down during breath work and during my journaling. Those are the best places to let my inner toddler go, because I don't want my inner toddler, and sometimes I fail, I don't want to let my inner toddler hurt others with her intense, "Ma, this isn't fair, Ma." And she's welcomed here. But in I tend to her, I let her have her tantrums, but in safe places. So how can we let that out of our bodies? We don't need to gaslight ourselves and be like, oh, I shouldn't feel that way. No, we do feel that way. And our inner toddler still lives within us, my loves. Let's let her have her effing tantrum. I like to pound my hands on the floor, stick out my tongue. Like, and then when I'm done with that, I do really slow breathing. Come back. Then I have the spaciousness to thank my body, regardless if she is sick, regardless if she's in pain. Because I know nothing thrives in shame. Nothing thrives when we yell at it. Nothing thrives when we are angry constantly. What's wrong with you? Nothing thrives in the energy of what's wrong with you. So, I know I talk about the same thing a lot, but I just feel like most of us could use constant reminding on how to nourish that inner kind voice, and how to nourish that, oh, honey, there's nothing to fix. There's always opportunities to heal, and I'm sorry that this earth school is so intense and often so painful and really confusing and often scary. And what if we lean into the unknown? What's there? We can't lean into the unknown until, at least in my experience, we are at least more consistently regulated, meaning more peaceful. We learn that the unknown, the unknowable, isn't scary. It's not scary. That there are other there's other dimensions right here, right now. Your loved ones, whether you believe it or not, I know with certainty they are guiding you. They're with you. Your ancestors, your spirit guides. They're with you. They're so in love with you. They're so proud of you. No matter what you do, you can do nothing, and they're proud of you. You're here. You did it. And as someone who feels often, as part of my healing, alone, I often feel so alone. That's why I think, too, I love relearning, because I know this before when I was younger, but I've forgotten it, that I am in company of my spirit guides, that I am never alone. Plus, Mama Earth, she's beneath my feet. I am made of the same ingredients that she is made of. I am not alone. And it's valid that I feel that way sometimes, but I don't allow myself to live there, because then that's chronic, and anything chronic becomes pain or illness. I love these bodies. Sing it with me. I love my body. Even when my body's in pain. I love this body. Even if I don't know how my body looks. I love this body. I love this body. He deserves my kindness. Nothing thrives in shame, yelling, or the energy of what's wrong with you. So, can we switch it? Oh, it makes sense you feel that way. It makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense. Well, my loves, I am going to leave it here for today. But before I go, let's do some breathing. You ready? You can be driving or do whatever you need to do with this breath work we're going to do right now. I use this breath work when I feel myself about to have an anxiety attack in public. It's the least visual strange. People don't look at us. We do this breath work. I can't do my open mouth like tongue out, shaking my hands. I don't want to do that in public. I don't want to scare people. But this breath work, through our nose, we inhale. We hold it. Soften your shoulders. Feel your feet on the earth. And then exhale as slow as you can. Slower. It's okay. It's okay. You're safe. Through the nose again. Inhale. Feel your belly. Feel your chest. Hold. And then take a little. Inhale more. And then slow. Feel your feet on the earth. Inhale through your nose. Bring your awareness to the top of your head, and then your awareness to the bottom of your feet. Your awareness from shoulder to shoulder. This body, how it takes up space in space. This precious body who thrives and loves to be told she's doing a good job, even on the hardest of days. She's not against you, but it is really hard for a lot of our precious bodies to respond to this modern environment. But we are safe. We are safe. One more. Inhale through the nose. Hold. And then take another breath. Inhale. On top of that one that you're holding already. And slow. Thank you for gifting me the time of your attention, and thank you for breathing with me, and thank you for continuously learning how to speak so kindly to that body, because the fact is we are all interconnected. So the kinder you are to your body, the kinder I get to be to my body. This is a ripple effect. We are interconnected. We are little points of mycelium, just like the trees. So every kind word you say to yourself, I feel in my body too. Every kind word I say kindly to myself, you get to feel too. This is how it works. I wish you a beautiful week, and I hope to see you next week.